So we're face to face now, either at our office, our model home, if we're home building, or we're at their home doing a site visit. So what do you want to have happen at the meeting? Very simply here, I want to shift their focus away from their favorite question. How much project can I get for how little price? Everyone wants the most and they want to pay the least. It was the last couple of days looking at purchasing a new car. And so, of course, I'm trying to get the most amount of car for the least amount of money and making comparisons and trying to understand what I'm getting. So yeah, it's human nature. I don't want to overpay for something. Now, cars, it's a lot easier because I can look at brands of cars and trim packages, and I can try to make that quote unquote apples to apples comparison. So the point here is during the meeting is you want to make yourself stand out as that you are unique, you are specialized, you are something that cannot be compared. You're going to use another visual here. I'm going to go ahead and show this and bring it on screen. This is something we came up with, which is really more or less just a breakdown of what you will be talking about at that first meeting. So this is a former client of mine who is now retired, but this is a breakdown of what they used to review on an iPad with the client at the first meeting, where this is again an example of a remodeling. So we would give an overview of the time together. Again, consider this an interview. You're interviewing us, we're interviewing you, a little bit about the builder, doing some definitions, and talking about what is the next step. So if you are happy with us, we will ask you, if we think you're a good fit, we'll ask you one simple question. Would you consider partnering with us to remodel your home or build your home? Yes or no? As soon as the customer or the lead says, yes, I would consider you, now they've your process. So now you can start bringing up your design agreement or your proposal preparation agreement or your scope and range agreement, which is like what this client did. So that's what we're trying to get, is a simple yes or no from the lead. So this went into, again, a little background on the builder. And you notice that we're using visuals. We have some bullet points here. There's also a script that went with this. And this script is something that I went ahead and created so that the salesperson could follow along as they went through this and ask really pertinent questions during specific slides here. So the next thing, if you remember, we're going to go through definitions. So what is a draftsperson versus an architect versus a lead designer? We'll talk about the breakdown of what comprises the price of your remodeling project. We're going to talk about bidding. And trying to get that low price versus design build, where we're looking at a low cost versus a low price, and what's the differences there. We'll give examples of different types of kitchen remodels. In this case, this is an example of a finance worksheet. So we would help the homeowner understand, if they were going to borrow against their home, how much money they could get out of it. Again, we would use this again to go back and reconfirm this is how pricing is put together. Then we would talk about some unique aspects of the client. So you have an on-site manager or a lead carpenter, how we communicate, how the quality control is handled, and the inspection. We would even go in and introduce our project managers here and say, hey, if you elect to work with us, you're going to be working with Rob or Justin or whoever. And so we would give them a little background here. And then we finished up asking that question. Would you consider hiring Powell Custom Homes, in this case, to partner with you to build or remodel your home? Yes or no? And that's how we move them away from product and price and to our process. Thoughts, Diana?
That's amazing. So you basically support the client 100% and you help them choose you.
Absolutely. And it's as simple as just trying to be what you have to look at this as an educational opportunity.
Yeah.
So we're not selling, we have to educate first. Yeah. So once the client or the lead is educated, once they do that, then they have the ability to say yes or no. Process, I don't like your process. Because you may go through the education process and they might say, I don't care what you say, I want to get 3 bids. And you at that point have to say, hey, I really appreciate the opportunity here. That's not how we operate. If you change your mind, you've got my contact information, but we're going to withdraw ourselves from the running. And you go on to the next one. Never, ever, ever do I recommend getting into a bidding situation. Some builders are forced into it, but again, if you're doing your lead generation and capture right and converting enough appointments, you do not need to bid.